starting to watch that a little closer. At our peak, we're at about 83% of our capacity. So we are still actively out searching for more capacity. We've got some good offers, but I think there's still a little meat left on the bone we can cut off to get that down a little bit. Work orders all were about the same. Some items of interest. We started some training on the phone system. We started studying the data that we collected from the street light and security light GPS system. Tommy Whitehead has finished GPSing every single street light and yard light in the system. Some of Renee's staff is taking that data. And making sure we are charging everybody for a security light that we have that has a security light. We also found out that we have about 300 more street lights than we thought we had, which is good to know. We're going to go over that data over the next few months and then devise a plan on how to transition to LED. I think it's time to do it. The market price of an LED lamp has come down, and that is really pushing us toward that. The other thing is last night we had a coincidental peak with MEAG last night and this morning, which means we peaked a good megawatt above what we did during the summer last night. And we got through last night pretty well. We changed the crews changed about between 7 and 9 transformers. We had no wire burned down, so I'm happy with that. So we got through. Everybody had power most of the night, and I'll take it. Any questions you have?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate y'all keeping us in power last night.
Well, I appreciate the crews. They did a good job.
Hopefully, this weather will kind of get straightened back out. Okay, Finance Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Just some of the numbers I want to point out on my report. The property tax collections, of course, these numbers are for November. Considerably over the prior November, but I've looked at December and it looks like we've kind of made that up. So I think just heavier collections in December, maybe people waiting a little bit later. The local option sales tax is still coming in fairly consistent, but it's still a little bit lower than what we had anticipated. The clinic capacity, was looking at the capacity itself, is up about 22%. Where we added the extra half day, the extra hours, and we're staying at or around 90% as far as the utilization, which is really good. I don't know if anybody's had any problems getting in down there, but since the utilization's up, that's a really good thing, and as long as we can keep that up, we can maybe think about increasing those hours. And while I'm on the clinic, we've actually got an RFQ out right now for clinic services, and the deadline's Friday on that. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be coming back with some good alternatives and maybe even some savings for the city on the clinic. The general fund revenue, a couple of items that I've looked at that were over. The insurance premium tax was up this year around $82,000 more than the prior year, and we get all of that in October. So that's a good thing. And then the building permits are over the budgeted amount by about $85,000, and that was, I think, where they had permitted Hitachi, that building out there. So that caused a bump there in revenue. All the general fund expenses, the departments are running around 92%, which is where they should be. And hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll start getting some of the year-end stuff together and have a little bit better picture how we finish. Year-end. Utilities, the change in net position, all are right now at November are on a positive side, even the cable TV, which generally is running a little bit low. And the solid waste, the revenues and expenses are both under budget, but they're both about the same under budget, so they're tracking along pretty well. We're, right now, finance is gearing up for all our year-end activities. We've already started communications with the auditor. So they'll be coming in here around the middle of, well, they'll come in for a couple of days in January, but they'll do their field work in February. And then, as I said, we've got the RFQ for clinic services that we need to look at. And then our property and casualty renewals, Bob Seville is working on those. And we'll probably, had spoken to Mr. Adcock about maybe having a finance committee meeting outside of this meeting sometime between now and the next workshop. So we can kind of go over some of those things since they seem to be a little bit time consuming. So we'll come back at a later time and try to set that up. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Renee? Thank you. Fire department.
Mr. Mayor, Council, fire department ran the total of 7 building fires during the month of November, a total of 166 calls for the month. We did assist Walton County in 7 calls throughout the month of November. That's all I have to report.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Page? All right, thank you. Police department.
Thank you, Mayor. We responded to 3,400 calls for service for the month of November. We received 1,363 calls to the police department. We had 284 court cases. We logged over 205 hours of training. We reported 62 Part 1 crimes and 147 Part 2 crimes. We made 99 adult arrests and 14 juvenile arrests, and our community service picked up 1,980 pounds of trash, and we participated in 5 community events. And if you look at, I think one of your pages y'all have, it breaks down those 3,400 calls for service, showing what all we responded to.
Any questions for RB? Thank you. Solid waste, you gonna take care of solid waste?
Danny's not here, he's under the weather, or has the flu actually, but basically nothing new to report there. You see the numbers that Danny normally reports on. The biggest note is that we modified our residential trash pickup schedule. We did not pick up today, so everybody will be bumped back a day. We have put that out via social media, so people are, well, that we bumped it back a day, so just too cold to get those guys on the back of the trucks. That's pretty much it in solid waste.
Okay, streets.
Nothing new to report here either, Mayor. I would encourage you to go look at the sidewalks that they poured on Plaza Drive, Plaza Trace, as well as the street out by Chestnut Cupboard. I can't recall the name of that street. They look very nice, huh? Barron Drive. They look very nice. So we poured close today. Probably lower half-mile sidewalk. So we're going to continue when this weather gets a little warmer, trying to pour some more.
Okay. Water, sewer, and gas, Rodney.
Thank you, Mayor. Water treatment, everything's pretty much the same as far as the treatment side. We had 48 work orders, responded to 57 service calls, had 25 meter change outs, 1 water main break, and 32 service breaks. We answered 28 after hours calls, and on the wastewater treatment collection, pretty much the same as far as the treatment goes. 5 work orders issued. Only had 4 service calls, after hour calls. I'm sorry, 4 service calls, 7 after hour emergency calls. We finished the sidewalks on the Walker Drive for the 2011 CDBG, and the south side trailer park, that part of the project's finished. So they're currently in Douglas Street and Fanbro Street. Once those are complete, and we will be complete with that job. Natural gas, we sold 19,000 MCFs, 27 work orders issued. We finished our repair of the system leaks from the leak survey, and we began sizing our gas meters. And the Utilities Training Academy, we 4 classes held, 13 attending, and we also met with Brent Scarborough, which is probably one of the largest pipeline companies in the southeast. Met with them about holding some training classes for them. We actually done one 2 weeks ago. No, last week actually. 200 and something employees. So hopefully that's going to turn into a big account for us. And just as far as the day goes, we've had a lot of water leaks. There'll be more to come. And then we've also had some gas pressure issues from Winfield Place on out to Good Hope, Pleasant Valley Road. The 12 chicken houses that we've got all have just a few week-old chicks. So they actually pulled some gas, and it drained us today. We had to increase our pressure in the whole system to make up for the difference. So it's been a tough day. But
What
That's
happens with that when it gets real cold? Because the city of Lawrenceville had problems up in.
everybody's having the same trouble with the pressure. Just can't get enough gas to the customer.
Just doesn't. It's not as active. And
Well, our system, we're running on a 30-pound system here, so we increased it to 45 pounds a day just to get enough gas out to those areas. So it's just really cold.
Any other questions for Rodney? Okay. Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you.
That ends our department reports. We'll move into committee reports. And as I said before, I've left all the committee assignments the same for this year. Stating that, we'll move into finance.
Thank you, Mayor.
We have one item on the agenda this evening. It's approval of QS1 agreement for software and services. Mr. Prather.
Thank you. This is one of the goals for the finance department that we went over during the workshop. It's where our current software provider, they provide a hosted solution where we don't have to have the server in-house. So they will actually host it. The data is housed there. They do our backups. They handle all of that. We've been to the facility. It's a secure facility. About half of our software platforms are ready now. We could switch over tomorrow. They would just literally download our data, and we would install a different icon on our desktop, and the user would not know the difference other than it's one extra step to actually get into their system as far as the password. But we're recommending that we go to that. It's going to cost about $125 a month extra citywide, but that's just actual cost. It's factoring in the cost of a server, which we had on there to be replaced this year, that we won't have to replace. And then just other maintenance costs that are involved in actually having the server here in-house. So that's what we'd like to see us do. We'll go ahead, and they've told us they'll go ahead and get us transitioned to what can move over first, and then we'll start converting the data to the new platform, which will run on that, on the other, which would be business license, all our accounting suite, the project accounting, payroll. That'll just be transitioned during 2014. So, and I've already sent the agreement to the attorneys. It's their standard agreement. So,
did I read in here at some point that a hard copy backup would be on site here at some point?
no. And what I've been told is we do the backups here. We also have a disaster recovery site up at the head end. And they back up as well. They provide that service to us, and we're currently not paying for that service because we're one of their beta testers. So we're saving quite a bit of money, by participating in that. But I think with the backups, we're to a point where we're bumping our limits on our tapes, and our system has gotten some age to it. So when we have to buy, it'll only be for the police and some of the other platforms that aren't running on ours, so that it won't be quite as costly. So that. Be a savings as well.
It's a large amount of data we transfer on this older system, and how it's so slow. We had to actually build a fiber link just for that between here and the head end, because the servers have some age on them, like Renee's saying, and it just takes so long for them to transfer the data that if we didn't have that, they couldn't back up every night.
Yeah.
Do you know how many backup sites they use?
They used to. I think the one is there in Spartanburg, and I think Richmond is the other side. It's good distance away, and we've participated in their backups for, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years now. And if they have an issue, they contact Steve Conwell, and in his absence, I'll get the call sometimes, and they'll say there was an issue with the backup. So they monitor that kind of thing, and and I think do a pretty good job.
It's a lot better than the 1 mile separation we have between this building and the
Right,
head.
and what we've been told is basically if we had an issue or some sort of disaster here, as long as we could get to the internet. And we've got a computer, they'll have us up and running.
Are there any other questions? Other discussion? If not, I need a motion to recommend this to the full council.
I move that we approve the agreement.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Aye. We'll, council next week.
Okay, got all the finance.
That's all.
Does the airport have anything? That's Rita. I don't think they have anything anyway. Public Works,
No, sir.
Utilities,
No, sir.
Public Safety,
No, sir.
DDA.
Yes, Mayor, I asked Sadie to come up and give a brief report to DDA.
Thank you, Council. We had a great November and December. In downtown. A lot of the good centers were reporting record-breaking sales for the holiday season. So that's really good and encouraging. When we spend funds to do events and do things like candlelight shopping, that's the goal. But it brings more people downtown, gets more people in their doors. We have a new business opening this month, Cuban Sandwich Shop. We have a new business that will be opening hopefully the next month, right down the street. It's a handmade art called Sailor Studio. They do jewelry similar to Rents as far as the business model. And then we have another contract that's just put on another vacancy in downtown. So things. Filling up, that's really encouraging going into the new year to have 3 potential new businesses coming to downtown within the first week. I want to remind everyone this Saturday is the opening ceremony for opening reception for Inspired Georgia Art Exhibit. This is the state art exhibit at the Art Guild Saturday night, 6 p.m. Would love for anyone to come, free to the public. And then the closing weekend, which is January 25th, that will also be a very big weekend. So we'll have Winterfest that Saturday, and then Glow Atlanta, the dance troupe from Atlanta is coming out. They'll be here for 3 days, living in Monroe, and then do a public dance. They call it a public art installation, and they'll dance and kind of do a picture of Monroe. It should be something to see, something that's never happened in Monroe before, but it'll be really great for the community. So those things are going on. Happy to answer any questions about anything else going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one item discussion for next week's a resolution for the open records officer.
And Mayor, that's just another, or just a housekeeping resolution. Last year, we did the, I guess, appointed an open records officer to, basically, if anybody's wanting to look at our records or requesting a copy of our records, they would submit it to this one person. And go from there.
Okay. We have 2 items. Requiring action tonight. We, an election of vice mayor, so I'll take any nominations, motions.
I'll offer a motion that we reappoint Mr. Wayne Adcock as vice mayor.
Have a motion. Second, Ms. Dixon. Any discussion? All in favor for selection of Wayne Adcock as vice mayor? Signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That passes. Need an appointment for the council representative for the Downtown Development Authority. I'd like to keep Mr. Larry Bradley on for that, so I'd like to take a motion for that.
I'll make that motion, Mayor, that we reappoint Larry Bradley to the Downtown Development Authority.
Have a motion by Mr. Adcock.
Second.
Second by Mr. Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. With no other business, we need a motion. To adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Malcolm. Second by Mr. Adcock. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all very much. Stay warm, stay healthy.
Oh, mine's in the car. I gotta turn it.
Behind 9 of them markets of ones and 2s.
Yeah.
You get those messages?
Just trying to be optimistic.
I'll